I mean, it's happened. Dude, it's already happened. Donald Trump walking down with a penguin. Victoria doing a crazy dance. Hot
Totally
or
hot.
not?
Totally hot.
Maduro and maybe Macron.
And I know one day I will get an Emmy.
For sure.
For sure. Cringe a little bit. What's the next trend, right?
Hopefully that's not the case.
Ooh. Stop. Did you just doom scroll, watch a Get Ready With Me video? Almost buy a jumper you don't actually need and pour wine like it is a survival skill. Same, same.
I'm Nina, tech evangelist, investor, serial social entrepreneur, nonprofit founder, and I'm absolutely obsessed with starting and running impact projects.
And I'm Maithreyi, storyteller, international journalist, a former TV anchor, media founder, and someone who's mildly obsessed with connecting politics, business, and the chaos all around us. This is your sanity break, where we're trying to make sense of an insane world just like you.
Welcome to our group chat.
You know what? We're still at the start of the year, and I already feel so exhausted. I don't know whether, Nina, it's midlife kicking in or whether I have now formally entered my I don't give a crap phase of life. But seriously, I already want this year to end. I don't know about you. You're just coming out of this newborn baby bubble, and then you come into a year like this.
Yeah, and I don't know, is it a baby and my sleepless night, or it's just the world is completely go wild? But you know what? I wake up today and I was like, what is that right now? Is this already March or April? No, it's actually only end of January. We already have so many things happen, so many news, new wars to start, like geopolitics going wild, marketing, and all many other topics that I really want to discuss with you today.
I know this is what girl chats are all about. You can have an adult conversation, especially as you're coming out of the baby bubble. But frankly, and I can slightly hear the baby at the back, which is so cute and heartwarming because
No,
shit like this that you're about to hear does not help my mental health.
absolutely not.
But in doing it, I'm helping Europe, I'm helping NATO, and I've until the last few days when I told them about Iceland, they loved me.
Wait, was it actually Greenland?
Yeah,
He said
that's what he was.
Iceland.
He
Yeah?
said it twice. They both have ice. I guess somewhere in his mind that somehow worked. I don't know what that was, but I also think I blame Jon Stewart for making this into a big thing for the rest of the world, where we all make fun of Americans and their lack of geographical knowledge. I don't think all of them are like that, but it is quite funny to kind of say, "Hey, Greenland, Iceland, it's the same thing. Why not?"
Yeah, yeah, and he actually he want to buy Greenland, right? In order Russia and China is not buying that, and in order actually Russia is not becoming neighbors of them. But again, there is Alaska, right? And if you look at the map,
Geography, geography.
Alaska, Russia. I mean, it's happened, dude. It's already happened. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I
What do you
mean,
think about that?
I think he forgot at some point that America or the United States already bought Alaska from Russia. And I mean, I'm sorry, you guys made yourself neighbors with Russia already
Exactly.
at some
Exactly.
point. But it really comes down to the strange reasoning that he has of, it for security and for peace and not wanting China there. But at the end of the day, he usually says it's also about the rare earths under the soil in Greenland. So it's all very confusing as to why he wants it. Because does he want the resources? Is it about protecting America? Is this a big distraction game? But it feels like the same kind of obsession, Nina, and you'd know this really well because you're
Yeah.
Ukrainian. Um,
Exactly.
this
And
he said the same thing.
exactly. I mean, this narrative about saving people who live in Greenland. I mean, I was hearing this somewhere. Are you recalling where? Like, yeah, no, that's completely insane, but I love to see in the same time how the world is make fun of all of that, because obviously without humor you will not survive in this world. And
Oh,
well, we're joking
you
about that.
you have to joke about it because remember, I'm going to come back to your thing about Alaska and Russia. You
Yeah.
remember Sarah Palin could never
Yeah.
live it down. I can see Russia from my window. And she was Republican, so someone needs to kind of remind them of that. But it kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of the whole conversation that was happening about a year and a half ago, or a year ago, even about Ukraine and the peace
Yeah.
deal being, it
Exactly.
needed to be about the rare earths in Ukraine. And then suddenly you kind of go,
Minerals.
yeah,
Hmm.
but it makes sense to think about it, right? If the Chinese have banned the export of rare earths and they have the biggest market
Hmm.
for rare earths, and rare earths is what we use in our phones, in our
Yeah.
computers, in our batteries, in all of the electric EVs that we want to be using, then, we've got to find our rare earths somewhere else. But the funny thing about rare earths is that they're not that rare. It just takes a hell of a lot of time to mine for them, but even more time to kind
Yeah.
of process them. I'll tell you a really strange thing and a funny thing that a woman I absolutely adore. Her name is Amanda Lacaze. She is the CEO of one of
Hmm.
the most important rare earth companies in the world, based in Australia. And she said, I'd rather have rare earths processed and in a bag than the hope of trying to find rare earths 10, 20 years down the road, because that's how long it takes to build the infrastructure, to mine for it, to the ports to carry the damn thing out. And there's already plenty of rare earth available. You just have to kind of find the easiest route. Not Greenland, it's covered in freaking ice. It's like, what?
Ex- Exactly. No, like sometimes it feels like the economical decentralization that we were talking about is starting a bit in the wrong way. There is nothing bad about like finding minerals, collaborate, work together, and help each other. It's a
Yeah.
bit wrong, when it's coming to the narratives of saving someone, buying someone, and so on. So that's definitely insane part.
Well, the only person who seems to have managed to get through to him, and I love the line that he uses, because there used to be this podcast I used to watch, or still watch, who we call My Daddy. It's a really fun podcast. You guys should listen to it. But Mark Rutte, who's the Secretary General of NATO, has always managed to become the Trump whisperer because he started calling Trump daddy. And I think he had a conversation after this whole Greenland thing with him. And I think he may have called him daddy, because for a couple of days, Trump backed off Greenland. He's like, I'm not going to attack them. I'm going to be fine with it. I've struck a deal. This is like, you're going to listen to Mark Rutte's original Call My Daddy moment. Take a listen.
That should have sorted it, no?
Of course it didn't. A couple of days later, there's like videos and, well, technically an AI generated image of Donald Trump walking down this icy path towards Greenland, holding hands with a penguin. And the beauty of this is the internet just freaking went mad. Yes. But the Chinese have gotten on the act. Who knew the Chinese had a sense of humor? They
Exactly.
li- they literally released a whole like bunch of videos. There's one with a song. So that
Yeah.
video is really funny, but the funniest bit was that their national press agency, Xinhua, basically comes out with this whole statement saying, I don't think the White House has geographical knowledge. Again, going back to the whole joke about Americans and geography, essentially saying, oh my God, do you realize penguins are only found in the southern hemisphere and not in the north? And they've had a field day with it, as have Greenlanders. I mean, the one thing I've learned out of all of this, Nina, is who knew Greenlanders were some of the funniest people on the planet. Have you seen this video?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw this like TikToks where they're making fun and as well like singing the song, and that they want actually independency but not annexation, and that actually the situation with Trump makes them even closer. Yeah, that was like really good. Very funny, and I think it's bring a lot of attention to them. And now everyone actually want to visit Greenland. Everyone talking about that. Everyone like checking TikTok. So there is as well, like, marketing benefits from all of that situation. Who would think that in 2026, in order actually to promote your company, country, your brand, you would need geopolitical help? Would you
I
think about
mean,
that?
I think the definition of influencers is changing as fast as
Ex-
artificial intelligence. So, hey ho, if it sells tourism in Greenland, that was one of the marketing things that we saw, right? Like, oh my God, marketing of Greenland has been really good till now. So last year, their tourism went up, saying the polar ice caps are melting, the polar bears might die. We need to go see the northern lights
Mm.
because, guys, technically, this is also the last part of the year of the best year to kind of see the northern lights. So if you haven't gone and done it this year, you should. But the tourism was going up, and now suddenly in 2026 it seems the numbers are going to reach epic levels because
Yeah.
everyone wants to go there before it becomes a war zone.
And I hope Iceland will benefit from that as well. I mean, Trump helped both, basically. Maybe he actually deserved the Nobel Prize. He helped
Nobel Prize for
for
Nobel Prize
tourism,
in marketing.
marketing. Do they actually have it? Like, if not,
No, I think
let's
we should
send them
tell.
proposal. Yeah,
I
let's send
think
them
I think we
proposal.
should send the Nobel Committee a proposal and say, hey,
So,
give him like the best prize for marketing. He'd be happy with it.
and there
But
would be a couple more candidates like Maduro and maybe Macron, and we need to talk about that part too.
well, I want to talk about Maduro because I mean, there's no such news. All good news on all bad news is great
Yes.
marketing, right? I mean, at some point, whoever thought that you'd wake up in the new year and see this dictator getting kidnapped out of Venezuela? Venezuelans were happy about it. But I think Nike was happier at some point
Yeah,
about that gray tracksuit, right? What
exactly.
happened there?
Completely sold out everywhere across the world. I mean, Nike woke up and were like having this, maybe, I don't know, unwanted ambassador who completely promote their like sports suit, and suddenly they could sell it everywhere, and it was sold out, except I think you were able to find still in Ukraine. We are not so much
The Ukrainians
into.
were like, why do we need
Oh,
fleece?
yeah, why do we need fleece? No, I mean, we need fleece because obviously, due to all the crazy situation that we have right now in Ukraine, it's actually very beneficial. But I mean, is it not insane that Nike, who was trying for years actually to improve their sales of fleece, suddenly crazy benefited from Maduro as ambassador?
I think they were like memes online calling it just coup it.
Just
I
cool.
mean, just coup it like a coup. Yeah, yeah, like just coup it, steal the look. I mean, I don't blame people. The whole tracksuit, it
No.
seems, was like $250, which I think is a hell of a lot for a Nike tracksuit.
Yeah.
And $140 for the hoodie. So
Wow.
at some
Wow.
point, I'm kind of going, okay, Delcy Rodriguez should be really excited because she's come out in the last couple of days and said, hey, we had 15 minutes to decide, or the Americans gave us 15 minutes to decide whether to hand over Maduro or die. I mean, sounds like a really bad plot of a very B grade, Hollywood movie or Bollywood movie.
Movie.
But you kind of understand that the poor man was in this Nike tracksuit that he didn't want to be seen dead in it. But
Yeah.
literally, he didn't want to be seen dead in it. And he was like walked out wearing this $250 tracksuit.
Shit.
But you know something that was super interesting? For all the people that died, all the soldiers that died, who were not just Venezuelans, there were other
Mm.
nationalities there as well. Trump came out and said he used something called a discombobulation weapon. I'm
What?
just, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's to discombobulate or like throw people off. And then you give 15 minutes to people to decide, hand him over or die. in the Nike suit. And I mean, Nike officials must be either mortified or very happy. I think it's a very confused environment there. I'm guessing. But let's talk about something that's a little closer to home, Nina.
Yeah,
Because the Venezuelans, they're happy in some ways, but now they are scared because it's the same government that still is there. You've had,
yeah,
Maria Machado do this really weird thing of going and framing. She's the opposition leader. For those
yeah,
of you listening who don't know who she is, she's the Nobel Peace Prize winner who made Trump really mad because he really wanted the Peace Prize. She got
yeah,
it. And she's the Venezuelan opposition leader who then frames her Nobel Peace Prize and then goes to the White House and then awards him the Peace Prize. It's like kind of me getting an Emmy, and I know one day I will get an Emmy
for sure.
for sure, and coming to your house and saying, "Hey, Nina, here's an Emmy. Be nice to me. Would you take it?" Oh, she's
Maybe.
thinking about it. Right. Remind me never to come to
Wow.
your house once I win an Emmy. But
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just this weird scenario. But you're sitting there as a Ukrainian looking at all of this after
Yeah,
like what, 2.5
yeah,
years of war. What are
yeah.
your girlfriends in Ukraine telling you?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a yeah exactly 4 years of war. Obviously, Ukrainians ready for any scenario. I feel they like really resilience is up through the roof, and obviously, we find a way, to not getting completely insane, and of course we are using as well a lot of humor in through that. So the latest joke, about
Yeah.
all this geopolitical situation is about you and NATO. And of course, Greenland and everything what was happening in Davos, it's make this joke even more popular. It's about if anything is will happen to one of the country in European Union, we finally will see who joined this group for free drinks. And
Why
I,
does
and I listen. I don't want to point. I don't want to point my finger at a couple of countries in this group who probably will be immediately. I'm out. Thank you. It was a great drinks, great supper. Great lunch. But now we out. so,
It's a
so
very good logical way of looking at it, though. I mean, trust the Ukrainians to like equate everything with booze, but
yeah.
I kind of have to agree with you. Like, who's going to be out as soon as the booze runs out?
And I think that what we Ukrainians are like kind of expecting, and that's why we said like, okay, we need to become stronger inside. We need to invest a lot of resources in our infrastructure. We need to share our knowledge. So actually, we could help in the end in Europe because all this geopolitical dialogue was about like, how Ukraine will join the European Union, how we become a NATO, how we do that and that. But now, looking at whatever is going on with NATO, now the question is like, will it actually work? Like, will it protect European Union countries? So maybe it's a time for Ukraine to become stronger and like actually help to Europe.
I mean, it's flipping. If it's flipping the story on, what Ukraine means for Europe. So I love that people in Ukraine are talking about that because at least they're talking. Because the funny bit about Davos always is that they come up with these themes that are so highfalutin and really hard to achieve, and they leave
Yeah,
themselves open to a lot of jokes, right? This time and this year's theme of Davos was a spirit of dialogue, which was rather interesting because who was having a dialogue in there? Probably the only person who kicked off an idea of a dialogue might be Mark
yeah,
Carney, as much as a lot of the
yeah,
Canadians don't like what he's
yeah.
doing in Canada.
I love
He
his
did
speech. I
His
love his
speech
speech.
was amazing. If people haven't heard that speech, I strongly
Yeah,
recommend that you go listen to it. Put aside your politics about internal politics of
yeah,
Canada, but look at it from the eyes of the rest of the world. And it was this
yeah,
kind of speech that people needed to hear at Davos. So I think that was a highlight for me. But the
yeah.
second bit was Emmanuel Macron and his aviator reflective blue sunglasses giving
And
his speech.
Exactly, another example of amazing marketing. Probably this company, right, who producing what 1,000 pieces per year or something, right? The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
price was 600 something, right? Probably
660
skyrocketing.
euros.
Is it still possible to buy those aviators? Are they
No,
sold out already?
they're sold out because guess
It's
what?
so,
You said 1,000 pieces. There are 10 artisans in the south of France
so
that
super.
make this. It's a tiny little atelier that makes this. And it seems Emmanuel Macron had bought these sunglasses 2 years ago for something else. But it was just this whole weird thing where his sunglasses sold out within like a couple of hours of his speech. And I'm like, we have a president who's selling out fashion. That's the
Yeah.
second president in 1 month.
Exactly. The only one, a bit of difference, right? Dictator, like, and the president from European Union. So, like,
Kidnapped, fashion statement. I don't know.
statement. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and you know, there was, oh, of course, there was another one rumor, and I don't want, like, honestly to bring this here, but I really want to say
Go
it
on, go
very,
on, go
very
on.
clearly. You know, the people was questioning why he was wearing this sunglasses. Of course, he looks like as a badass, right? Sexy badass. But there was another one version that was like kind of hello, Miss Macron, right? Hopefully that's not the
Ooh.
case.
Ooh.
Well, sorry.
Oh, no, no, no.
Not,
I know. I saw that, and like, I don't like beating up on spouses or other women, but it was kind of funny at some point because at some level, at this point, you have to kind of look at all your world leaders and say, "I'm sorry, but if you don't start acting like world leaders, you just become part of the gossip circle. And that's what you have been reduced to because you don't have a backbone and you're not standing up for these so called values that we supposedly have." So I don't blame
yeah,
everyone and anyone for having that whole gossip, but it did make me cringe a little bit. And then I just kind of went,
yeah,
oh, what happened to his eyes? Oh, it was a blood vessel that burst.
yeah.
Okay, how boring.
Yeah.
But he did pick some very strange sunglasses to kind of hide that. Um,
But you know
j-
what? There is another cringe. You know, would you think that ever in the world the weapon and fashion would be in the same line?
this
Probably
is so
not.
weird. It's not so weird. Maybe, I don't know, 1933
Yeah,
in Germany, maybe when the
yeah,
suits were becoming, the khaki suit was becoming an it thing with the big black lapels with,
yeah.
S and S on it. Don't know. Was that a fashion statement? Maybe it started as a fashion statement and then went
Statement.
into a uniform. I don't know. But it's just all very it's a little
Yeah.
terrifying.
But
Do you know what was else was weird, Nina?
what?
When you're talking about defense or weapons and fashion or politics and fashion coming together, the look really matters, right? Do you
Yeah,
know the look that really did not work at Davos? And usually Davos has like $10,000,
yeah.
boots and very fancy people.
What?
The look that didn't work was the Board of Peace. That looked straight out of like a lineup of supervillains from an Austin Powers movie. Have you seen Austin Powers?
Of
Freaking
course.
funny. It was literally a lineup of like this whole clown show of kings and dictators, and it was just weird. But that was the one point where I would have to say the theme of a spirit of dialogue actually worked because the EU finally spoke almost as one voice and said, no, thank you, we're not joining.
Yeah, and there was another one actually, good news from the Davos that
Go on.
immediately was on the first page of all newspaper in Europe. You Inc. So finally, actually, Europe said that they will promote single registry for the businesses, and that's amazing, especially if you're a startup, if you want to start new business, you don't need right now worry about the different legislation in the different countries when you're in EU. So they promised it would be one single registration, one platform that actually will unite, many businesses together and will help to promote collaboration as well, economical collaboration, expert, etc. So that's really incredible news, and I really hope it will happen soon. We were waiting for whole everyone who lives in Europe was waiting for that forever. So I would say one good thing is definitely not maybe one good thing, but this thing is really good that it's coming.
Oh, I love your optimism. I have been
I have to.
watching this continent has been talking about getting this done for the last like 20 years, and I'm kind of like going, I'll believe it when I see it, because do you know how many red tape lovers exist in Brussels? I mean, they literally live on this stuff. So if it happens, that will be great, because guess what? Europe is also talking about, having its own social media, and why it doesn't have its own social media, because the American social media networks are so toxic, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And guess what? Every time
Uh,
they come to a techie, and you would know this, speaking to all the techies who've complained about
yeah,
the
yeah,
inability to scale, is because they have to go and like register at 27 different countries each and every bloody time. But again, they're going to start supposedly now after EU Inc. They've also announced that in response to X, Elon
yeah.
Musk's X, they're starting the most creatively named social
Oh,
media
tell me,
network in
tell
Europe.
me.
What's the letter that comes before X in the alphabet?
W.
Pretty much. The EU social media network is going to be called W, and this rule of EU Inc. is coming in right on time to help scale W.
Yeah, W. Well, I want to be a founding member. Do you know where I could sign up?
No, but we will find out, and we will kind of tell all of our listeners, and put it down in the comments below. And if you find out before us, or if you are part of the founding team at W,
Yeah,
bring
bring
us
it.
on, man. We will shout from the rooftops. We've been waiting for you guys forever. And EU Inc. will make you happen now. Here's the cool thing, because we really do need it. Social media, sick and tired of Donald Trump, Nina, basically decided that nobody was going to pay attention to Davos beyond like the headlines, because there was much more interesting news going on in the world. Football, movies, and social media influencing. And it was all led by Brooklyn Beckham. Brooklyn Peltz Beckham. Sorry. Brooklyn
Yeah, and
Peltz Beckham.
I think he's a first man who actually took his wife's surname, so that's already kind of
It's
interesting.
hyphenated. They kept the Beckham name.
But you would probably do the same if your father-in-law is worth billions, right? So I mean, yeah,
I
but
mean, Nelson Peltz, man, 1.3 billion to mummy and
yeah,
daddy's measly 500 million.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But are you in the team Victoria or team Brooklyn?
I don't know. I'm South Asian. So at some point, we all, like the South Asian community, pretty much has rallied and turned around and said, hey, by the way, the Beckhams are basically a South Asian family, because, mom and dad, very
Yeah.
close knit, the mother in law issues. We totally all know that one. But then again, I root for the underdog. So for me, it's about rooting for the 500 millionaire versus
Yeah.
the 1.3 billionaire.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you?
Victoria, I mean, completely Team Victoria. When I read that news, I was like really trying to imagine, that dance
Oh
and
my God,
all.
the best use of the word on I've ever seen.
Yeah, and you know what? It was so hilarious. So now, if you go into any AI app, and you see only two, actually, it's the main two teams. First, it's about Victoria doing a crazy dance, and the second one is a Trump with a penguin. So you could generate a video where you with a penguin like a Trump in Greenland. So see those two topics next to each other. It's pretty hilarious, like honestly.
Oh my God.
So,
It is hilarious. So this brings us to the point in the show where we want to kind of figure out what's the next trend, right? What is going to like get everyone all hepped up? It's the hot or not section. What
yeah.
exactly is the hot or not section?
Exactly. So here in this section, each of us preparing the topics. I'm, for example, today we'll do it from tech, Metro will do it from geopolitics, and each of us need to answer: is it hot or not? And you, as our listeners, please join us and comment. What do you think about these topics? Are they hot for you or not? So, are you ready to start the
I'm ready.
techie questions?
Oh
Okay.
God.
So you allowed this one, the first
Go
one.
on.
Chinese AI, DeepSeek, dominating emerging markets. Hot
Totally
or
hot.
not?
Totally hot. Totally hot.
I mean,
Unlike.
Chinese will dominate whole world and economy, right? Hot or not, right?
I am totally sucking up to the Chinese at this point. I am willing to suck up to them. I'm a nerd. They're doing amazing stuff, and I'm open to the idea. And so
and,
it's hot.
and now when they actually and now when you know that they are actually funny as well and have sense of humor, that's make them even hotter. Agree, 100%
Hot.
agree. Okay,
Totally hot.
Grok AI sexualizing woman picture. Another big
Uh,
news that we heard.
no, creepy.
No,
No,
yeah, completely not, right? Completely
no.
not agree. Okay, this one a bit more complicated. OpenAI backs non-invasive brain computer interface. So in a simple words,
Thank you. I was about to say, what the hell?
yeah, they could help, for example, disabled people without inserting chips. What is Elon Musk, for example, was working on into their heads to help the basically control with the brains and so on. So it's a bit creepy, but is it hot or not for you?
So with chip or without chip?
Without. So the
Ooh,
open air working was to do it without.
kind of hot, creepy.
Hot creepy, yeah, I agree
Hot,
completely. Hot
creepy.
creepy.
Hot, creepy.
Another one that coming from CES 2026, AI empower humanoid robots.
Oh, totally hot.
Because you
Have you
want them to work in your house, right?
have you met my husband? Yeah. Hell yeah.
The bad news for human trade, for now, it's planned only for manufacturing. So
Give it
yeah,
a
we
year.
would
Give it a
we
year. This
would
is AI.
okay.
It's going to be in my house by 27.
Yeah, and the last one, special for you, I know you will love it. So, big tech giants to plug data center directly into nuclear or traditional power plants in order to meet energy demands of AI.
For regular people, not. For climate
Uh,
nerds, totally hot. I know a lot of
hello,
climate
climate
nerds.
change. Yeah,
Climate
yeah,
nerds are
yeah.
awesome. Climate nerds are awesome. So hot
Yeah,
for climate nerds.
from security perspective, for cybersecurity perspective, could be creepy, hot or not, so, but I hope
Climate
they will figure it
nerd.
out. They
There
will
you go.
figure it out. They will figure out. Yeah, same as one single entry for Europe and so on. So they will figure out.
But it's hot for
But it's
climate
hot.
nerds.
Yeah. What about your question? I'm ready.
All
Tell
right,
me.
are you
Tell me.
ready?
Tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one is something I did not want to talk about in our session because this was supposed to be
Yeah.
uplifting. And frankly, every time I hear stories out of this, it makes me depressed, sad, and it takes me down like a rabbit hole of hell. But ICE and all that it's doing in America and all of what's happened in Minnesota, including till now, a couple of shootings, a couple of deaths. Hot or not?
Completely not. Like it's insane, and honestly, I could never imagine that in 2026 it could really happen that the person could be shot as easy as it is on the street. I mean, that's another podcast topic, but completely not shouldn't happen. And yeah, it's like really breaking my heart to see it all.
Breaking our hearts indeed. Board of Peace is Donald Trump.
I mean,
Hot or
not
not?
not for the world, hot for us because we have more topics to discuss in our next episode.
And the Austin Powers supervillain lineup really helps. Love it. Okay.
Exactly.
Next one. Nelson Peltz,
Oh,
Nicola Peltz Beckham's dad, is also the BFF, best friend forever, with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Hot or not?
exactly. Like maybe not, right? I think not for the world again, hot for us because it's again, I mean before to be honest, before this Brooklyn scandal, I even didn't connect the dots that Nicola actually is the daughter of that guy and he is so influential in the circles and friend with Trump and friend with Elon Musk. I mean, it's insane how it's all interconnected. So I would say it's creepy hot. How about that?
Creepy hot. Well, I
Creep,
think a lot of people on
creep.
Wall Street, hang on, a lot of people on Wall Street might actually agree with you on that one. But Nelson Peltz, very famous on Wall Street. So you're saying for the story, creepy hot. All right, here's
Yeah.
my final one. Here is my final one. Emmanuel Macron doing his speeches at Davos in English.
Of course, sexy hot, For sure, I will answer you as he did in Davos, repeating this phrase couple times, I don't know, maybe 10, in his speech. For sure, we need to think how to protect NATO values. For sure, we need to talk about Trump acting and so on and so on. So yeah, he was using word for sure in a very, very sexy manner. So for sure, hot.
For sure, hot. I'm
For
also
sure, hot.
nominating for sure, and I think all our listeners should, to all of the dictionaries for 2026's phrase of the year, unless, something else comes up. And we can always stop AI slop, which was the word of the year last year. So, you know what? That's a good list.
Yeah, it is indeed. Crazy, hot, good list. All right, squad. Your turn to tell us what you thought was hot or not. Drop a comment wherever you are listening. Maybe next time you will officially to join our group chat.
Catch you on your next sanity break here with us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, pretty much anywhere that you take a little break. Don't be shy, we'll be listening.